Well, from the Carolinas to Maine, Sandy the superstorm packed a punch that's going to take time and money to recover from. For some companies, it's also going to mean big business. Federal contractors earned $19.6 billion after Hurricane Katrina and also had billion-dollar paydays after Hurricanes Ike and Rita. Since Katrina, the government started contracting in advance of storms like Sandy for things like cleanup and housing. That means a single company, ECC, has the main contract for cleanup in the Northeast. The privately held California firm could earn as much as $250 million under its existing contract and potentially more if the federal government steps in to help overwhelm states and localities. And that's just the debris removal. Brian Friel is a federal business intelligence analyst with Bloomberg Government. He's here with more on who could clean up from this cleanup. Brian, as always, thanks for joining us. And let's talk about ECC to begin with. How is it they got this contract in the first place? Was it competitively bid?
Yeah, 5 years ago, the Army Corps of Engineers, which has the primary federal responsibility for major cleanup efforts after disasters, put out a bid for regional contracts, and ECC submitted a bid and won 4 of the 10 regional contracts. Other companies won the contracts for other regions, and they only get triggered when the states and local governments just can't handle the cleanup work themselves, and then call in the federal contractors.
So there's no guarantee they get this money, but a storm of this size and devastation, it's pretty clear ECC is going to get something out of this, so are the other federal contractors.
You'd expect them to, and they can also contract directly with the state and local governments through grant money that FEMA provides to them.
Yeah. And this is very big business. We've got everything from ice delivery to mobile home delivery. Talk to me about the opportunities here for contractors.
Yeah, the Army Corps of Engineers and FEMA both set up the lots of contracts in advance. The Army Corps sets up contracts for power generation. So, for example, when all the power has been out in New Jersey and New York, companies have been brought in to set up emergency generators. Ice and water contracts. So, a company called IAP Worldwide out of Florida has the federal contract with the Army Corps of Engineers to bring in bottled water and ice for people whose refrigerators aren't working because the power is out. And then there are contracts for mobile homes. So especially after Katrina, we saw the rows and rows of homes that were set up. You can imagine that, especially in the fire in Queens, that there will be a need for those kinds of temporary housing for victims, and FEMA and the Army Corps work with the contractors to bring that in.
What if I see all the opportunities with Sandy and I say, I want to cash in on this, I'm a federal contractor, can I still get in on this action?
Well, chances are you're too late if you haven't already established relationships with the government or with these major contractors. You need to pre-register with the government. You need to get on these contracts in advance. But it is a good time now to start thinking ahead to the next disaster so that you're in place to assist people in need when disaster strikes again.
All right, Brian Friel, as always, appreciate the help on this story. When we come back here on Capital Gains, those hurricane forecasts come from weather satellites run by the federal government. Why scientists worry they might not be there for the next big storm. Stay with us.